The Old Man and the Sea. This story is truly about a man's battle with nature, with himself, with relationships, and thus finding God, the creation that the old man finds, the peace that he finds, the way that he battles what God has put before him. That is what the old man is doing, is that he's finding a peace and he's finding a way to overcome so many obstacles. Thus, the underlying tone of the Old Man and the Sea is our relationship with God. And Ernest Hemingway, even though he didn't have a strong relationship with God, he was a man who liked his alcohol. He was a man who liked his women. He referred to the sea as a woman. But he was searching for something. He always wanted to go back. And in his life, he had two marriages. The first marriage, which he constantly cheated on his wife with one particular woman. And he took, he eventually, his wife left him and he married the second woman. But he always had a drawing back to the first woman. So as we were reading Old Man in the Sea, and as we talk about certain quotes and we see how he's trying to overcome, and the fish, thus his new wife, is dragging him out to sea, he gets to this place where he has this realization, this epiphany about the relationship with God as he starts to come back inland. So he's coming back to his first wife. So the old man battles several things, just as we all battle in our life. The first thing he battles is isolation. So, how does he battle isolation? He battles isolation because he lives alone. He's all by himself. There's really no one taking care of him. He's just this old man. So who takes care of him? Who takes care of you in your life? I mean, right now you guys have parents, and maybe you have grandparents who take care of you. So think about who takes care of your grandparents. Who takes care of your parents? And we see that the old man has a very unique relationship with the boy. The boy takes care of him. He brings him food. He makes sure he's getting dressed. He brings him beer, whatever he needs. And then the old man spends 3 days in isolation. 3 days as he holds on to this fish, holds on for dear life. So we think about what else did the who else in history held on for 3 days? We think about Jesus, right? He dead for 3 days before he rose again. So it's a really cool analogy that Hemingway is making without even realizing that he's making it. He, like I said, Hemingway is not a religious person, but has this religious undertone, which brings about the man's relationship with creation. He treats the fish as a brother, and he says, I'm so glad I don't have to fight with the moon and the sun, because then he's fighting with himself. We're all part of creation. So old man battles and thinks about the relationship that he has with himself. He has a relationship with the boy, which is key in this because he thinks about the boy and the boy misses him. And when the man gets home, he's like, did you want to know where I was? Did you look for me? That's battling the nature that we have within ourselves, that desire. The old man had to battle his environment. We think about the waves and the storm is approaching and he's holding on and the line's cutting into his hands. So he's battling his own environment. He's battling himself at this time. He's trying to sleep. He's trying to take care of himself while he's out there. And he's trying to prove to other people that he is not old, that he's still young enough to take care of himself. He's trying to prove to the world that he's still a good fisherman and that he's not bad luck. So he's overcoming what the world thinks about him in this. So where are you trying to overcome the world as you're finishing your project and you're writing, you're journaling about 5 days in your life? Where are you overcoming something? What do you battle in your life? What hardships are you overcoming? Because your project is very much about you and taking what you've read in this book and making it about you. That is key. What are you overcoming? What hardships have you overcome? What relationships um, do you find in your life? And who takes care of you? So think about this old man. Where do you have pride? Who do you look for inspiration? The old man looked to Joe DiMaggio for inspiration. How cool is that when we think about that? And who do you look to? There is a baseball player, it's a martial arts person, it's a musician. Who do you look to for inspiration? And we realized through this time that the old man was using things that he had in his boat. He used it as a sail, he used it as cover, he used it to hold on to the fishing line, he uses it to catch the fish. He's using things in his life that maybe he didn't think that he needed. So what has God provided to you in your life that you need? That maybe you just don't know it, or maybe you didn't know it but you realized it in overcoming hardships or achieving something really cool in your life. And then we hold on to things that we don't need. The old man was glad that he used his food and water sparingly. It's a good thing he held on to that. But what could he have let go of? Could he let go of his pride? He could have let go of what other people think about him. But the thing that he held on to the most was getting back to the boy. Is getting back to him to make sure that he was okay. Just like it didn't matter what Jesus went through on the cross, his thought was you. His thought was getting back to you. Now take that, and how do you apply that into your project? Please let me know if you have any questions, and be on the lookout for the second video.